Chapter 1. Conflict Management. It's morning time, and Deep has woken up. The events of night have left him stunned. However, to his immense surprise, a man resembling Narad is standing next to him.
Who are you?
Deep, I am Narad. Are you also suffering from short-term memory like Amir Khan in Ghajini?
No, I can't believe this. It was just a dream.
Some dreams turn into reality. So you're finally woken up.
Can you see the man standing next to me?
I think you are still sleeping. There is no one in this room apart from us. My dear Deep, no one can see me except you. Lady Luck is shining on you.
Brother, did you hear this man? He's standing here.
I think you have lost your brain or you are still sleepy. Deep, I told you, no one can see me but you.
Run, brother, there is a ghost in our house.
Come on, Deep, what nonsense are you talking about? Deep, you can't thrust your concerns on others. It is always good to accommodate the concerns of other people first of all, rather than one's own concerns.
Oh my God, what's happening?
Calm down and accept my presence here. Avoid conflict by emphasizing harmony is the need of the hour.
What do you mean?
I mean to say that you can easily avoid a conflict with your brother by just explaining things that you experienced last night.
Is it possible? Will he understand what happened to me?
Surely.
Brother Suresh, I need your help. Please try to understand me. Naradji is standing next to me. I know what I'm telling you may disturb you, but it is true. What I saw yesterday night is unusual.
Deep narrates what he saw in his dream and how Narad helped him to meet all the great personalities he admired the most.
What nonsense are you talking about? If you're joking, let me tell you this is not at all funny. And if you're serious, I think you need to consult a doctor. I think, Deep, you need to compromise with your brother. A mutually acceptable solution will satisfy you both.
I didn't understand.
To reach temporary settlement on complex issues, you need to compromise at times. Like in your case, he is not ready to understand our point of view. So, you need to reach a settlement point. With whom are you talking? You have gone mad.
Brother, I don't know what's happening to me. Maybe you're right. I'm suffering from some psychological disorder. Please help me.
Don't worry. I am with you. It may be just a hallucination, but we will consult a doctor. See? It works. Narayan, Narayan.
Chapter 2. Attitude and Ego. Deep has a liking for history. He considers great historical figures as source of inspiration. During a class of history, Deep was unhappy to see the boring way his teacher was delivering a lecture. A tired and dejected Deep reaches home and sleeps. During his sleep, Narad appears in his dream and asks him why he is sad. Deep narrated what happened in the class. Narad asks Deep not to worry and ride on a time machine with him to meet and learn from his favorite personalities.
So Deep, tell me, who do you want to meet?
My favorite personalities include Jawaharlal Nehru, Mother Teresa, Vivekanand, Alexander and Mahatma Gandhi. I would like to meet Mahatma Gandhi first.
Here we go.
June 1893. A young Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi boarded a train to undertake a trip to Pretoria in the Transvaal, South Africa. Gandhi was seated in the first-class compartment when the train reached Pietermaritzburg. An European entered the cabin and was angry to see a black man sitting there.
How dare you sit in this compartment?
Gentlemen, I have bought a first-class ticket, so I am supposed to sit here.
How dare you speak to me like that? You dirty Indian!
I am not a dirty Indian, but a well-educated barrister. I request you to calm down.
Is anyone here? Who's allowed this coolie to sit here? What happened, sir? First-class compartment is meant only for fair-skinned people. How is this man sitting here? You're not supposed to sit here. You can sit in the third-class compartment.
I think there is some misunderstanding. I have a first-class ticket.
Whatever it is, You cannot sit in the first class compartment. Immediately leave this compartment.
No, I refuse to do it. It's my right to sit here as I own a first class ticket.
In that case, I will throw you out of this compartment.
If you think it helps you, please feel free to do so. But I won't leave this compartment.
Ticket checker forces Mahatma Gandhi out of the compartment and tosses out his luggage too. The train steams away, leaving Gandhi on the platform. Deep and Narad, who were watching this, rushed towards Mahatma Gandhi.
Gandhiji, are you okay? Why didn't you abuse and hit those people?
What purpose I would have served by hitting those men? We all humans are alike. What is one going to achieve with ego? It serves no purpose. People who think that they are superior to others are living in dark. It does not lead us anywhere. I think so, and it helped me to stay calm.
But why they felt superior to you?
It was their attitude. Attitude is one's point of view towards others. My attitude towards them was positive, while theirs was negative. Their negative attitude is not going to help them.
Narayan, Narayan. Be positive like the Mahatma himself. Do good deeds. Be optimistic. And love fellow beings. Isn't it, Mahatma?
That's right. But why are you calling me Mahatma?
A man like your thinking is a great soul. That's why I called you Mahatma. You are going to bring many changes in this world. Narayan, Narayan.
So ego is in a way superiority complex. The thought or feeling that nobody can do better than me.
Yes, you're right. But ego always leads to fights and tensions.
So how to do away with the complexes arising from negative emotions like ego and anger?
Don't try to bully others because of your sense of superiority. What happened to me in the train was nothing but a result of superiority feeling those men possess. I was calm and didn't lose my temper. My heart is without any negative feeling, and so I feel at peace. Their actions are going to haunt them for the rest of their lives.
Well said, Mahatma. You have opened my eyes.
Chapter 3. EQ and its relation with success. March 1930. M.K. Gandhi leading thousands of people in civil disobedience movement. Gandhiji's march to Dandi to break the salt laws imposed by the British is joined by large number of people from every part of the country. Gradually the mass increases. Gandhiji with his followers make salt manually on the shores of Dandi. Everything is going peacefully.
What is Gandhiji doing, Narad?
Gandhiji is opposing against the oppressive British laws by disobedience.
But how can opposition be peaceful? There has to be some struggle.
Emotions should be handled intelligently. I know we cannot fight the British with force. So, assessing the situation, I took control of my emotions and decided to revolt against the British by peaceful means without using weapons. And civil disobedience movement is the result.
Come Gandhiji, let's go.
Come Narad, you too join us.
There is so much joy and cheerfulness in the air. Gandhiji is such a genius. Without a single blow from a stick, he manages to give a blow to the British government. So, emotional quotient is how we can measure emotional intelligence of a person.
You must also observe that self-awareness is the first step to social awareness. To create a mass movement, you need to take the initiative to achieve a common goal. Self-control is important in this regard.
Come fast Gandhiji, there's an outbreak at the shore. British sepoy has started lathi charging our satyagrahis.
Gandhiji hurriedly reaches the shore. British sepoys blowing lathis on people who have taken the march.
Stop, stop. Why are you beating my men? They have not done anything. They are harmless.
They have dared to break the government law. They have to be punished.
Or still better, let's arrest him.
No problem. Arrest me, but leave them. I have directed them to this violation of laws. They are not to be blamed.
But who will lead them if you are jailed?
Don't worry, Deep. The British government will have to pay for their sins one day. And I am a team player. At most, I can motivate. Listening to your inner call is your take.
This is called conflict management.
So you mean emotional intelligence quotient attributes to profitability as well?
Don't worry, I'll be out soon. Till then, you focus on your history chapters. Learn them well. Follow EQ at work, like identify the difficult areas, work realistically. No one can be an expert in all areas of work. So, accept your weak points and work on them to improve and check your emotional side. It takes time to tone down oversensitivity. So think of something you may have to face due to oversensitivity.
Chapter 4. Steps to achieve professionalism. 1901. Gandhiji weaving khadi yarn on his famous charkha. Many of his followers are sitting along with him in Sabarmati ashram and spinning yarns of homegrown cotton. A mellifluous tone of Raghupati Raghav Rajaram is being chanted in the ashram corridors, and people are engaged in routine work.
What are you doing, Gandhiji?
I am spinning threads of cotton, weaving them into yarn and making shirts and kurtas.
Why but? We have so many ready-made garments available in the market.
Because we have chosen to boycott all that is non-Indian. We do not promote British goods.
All that with a purpose.
What is that?
We want to become self-dependent, and so we do not use anything foreign. Also, this creates employment and helps our own people to earn living. This way, we aim to strengthen our voice in front of the British government. The Crown is plundering our country, looting everything which is our very own. By producing clothes and other goods locally, we aim to weaken sources of revenue and keep them for our own good.
This is called dedication. He is a true leader, you see. The Mahatma not only preaches, but practices too.
In fact, all my disciples are also contributing in this. This is one part of professionalism. A professional has to exhibit the highest standards of a profession. Professionalism is as much about dedication as is to ensure good team spirit, which enables people from different walks of life to achieve a common goal together. Deep, you want to try spinning this wheel?
Wow, this is interesting. This way I can make a shirt to wear on my own. And the best part is, I won't have to ask anyone to do it for me. Great!
I would urge you to promote khadi culture in your college, amongst your friends, everywhere.
Sure, Gandhiji, I will.
1942 August. Quit India movement became rapid with the failure of Cripps mission. A mass movement has started to end imperialism in India. Mahatma Gandhi is leading the movement. He addresses the mass and asks them to follow peaceful methods for the revolution.
The Mahatma is a true statesman and is also one of the finest professionals of all times.
Is being professional some kind of attribute or skill one has?
Professionalism is a special attribute exhibited by someone of a particular profession. Anyone associated with a particular profession cannot be termed as a professional unless he demonstrates the highest standard of that trade.
Like in this case, Gandhiji is the best example exhibiting professionalism. He is an able orator, truthful to the masses, honest in behavior, and dedicated to his work wholeheartedly. These all are the required traits of the leader of the masses.
The difference between a normal person and a thorough professional is he knows his trade well and is experienced too.
So, a professional is a good role model, effective communicator, honest and dedicated towards his work, truthful to himself, and towards masses that follow him.
Yes, professionalism is the pivot of any organization. It drives the motto of any group of people with the factors like motivation, inspiration, punctuality, and so on. In fact, professionalism requires emotional intelligence.
Violation of salt laws. Dandi March. Lathi charge by force. Mahatma Gandhi takes up the charges and asks police to punish him and not others.
Why do you take the blame for all this?
This yet again shows leadership qualities.
One must always take the responsibilities for one's actions. It lowers the burden of guilt suffered and helps develop confidence of your followers. This inspires them and they are motivated to fight for their rights.
Chapter 5. Posture. The time machine takes Deep to the post-independence era. 1951, when Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru is presiding over a meeting of drawing the first 5-year plan. He stands straight and directed to one member who is giving his opinion. Then he takes his seat on a chair with his back straight. shoulders firm, and hands placed on the desk to write the pointers as suggested by other members.
Whoever wants to add on to this draft, please stand up and raise your point so that it is easier for all of us here to listen to you.
I have a question.
Yes, would request you to get up and go ahead.
What would be the power division ratio between center and states?
Non-issue. We will follow whatever majority of the leaders decide.
All honorable leaders, the question raised by Acharya ji is a little tricky, but very important. In my view, we shall discuss this in the next session of Congress, when all the members of the working committee are present to provide their opinion.
Yes, that's right. How well Nehruji holds his posture. But does really matter?
Yes, it does matter. Right posture at the right time is an integral part of your presentation, as well as it conveys confidence to others. They signify your current mental status and reflects your mood.
Nehru is a fine statesman. You can learn presentation skills from him.
So what all does posture signify?
Like if I slouch on my chair while presiding over the assembly, it will diminish not only mine but everyone's confidence. People will lose interest. A message of pessimism will run across. And if I display upright posture, confidence of all party workers will get a boost.
And why do you insist others to maintain body postures as well?
So that everyone pays attention and can induce confidence in others too. Also, it facilitates breathing, increases concentration and thinking ability, projects a good image. You tend to feel more confident, and also good posture could lead you to good health.
Our grooming teacher says that even first impression is very important and that we must maintain firm and upright body posture while in public domain. He says having an upright posture conveys that one is healthy, strong and self-confident apart from making one look attractive.
Chapter 6. Dress to Impress. December 1929. Lahore session taking place under the presidency of Jawaharlal Nehru. He is dressed up smartly, wearing a hip-length tailored coat and mandarin collars, which is popularly known as Nehru jacket. It is Nehruji's favorite attire, and he has covered his head with a homemade cotton cap, which later became popular as Nehru cap, standing straight on the dais to preside over the session.
Narad, do you see how smartly Pandit Nehru is dressed?
Yes, he always carries himself smartly with his self-styled suit, cap and shoes. Projects so much confidence.
But even if he doesn't wear a suit, he will be smart, no? How does dress contribute in his presentation?
Pandit Nehru overhears the talk between Deep and Narad and joins in.
Dressing does matter, Deep. Right clothes at the right occasion helps create the right impact. Whether it be business meetings or personal ones, costumes should be chosen carefully.
I am so inspired by your dressing sense. But how do I decide what to wear on what occasion? Is there any standard dress code that we must follow?
Usually, first meeting with someone leaves a lasting impression. So try to dress in neat clothes as per the occasion is like. If it is a business meeting, wear formals and project your interest for the meeting. And if it is a casual meeting with friends or colleagues or family functions, then you can dress up as per your choice. Also, colors have a huge impact on others.
In earlier times, Pandit Nehru used to dress in suit and tie, but nowadays he is guided by Gandhiji's principle of using everything made in India, like clothes, luxury items, etc., and avoids using everything of foreign origin.
Those days, I had a fascination for clothes, but on return to India, I was depressed to see the plight of men and women across the country and took an oath to follow Gandhiji's teachings. From then on, I adopted homemade clothes.
There are some colors that attract attention in a moment and then some that give a feeling of aggression, and also there are some colors that are known to be feminine colors. So are colors of clothes important professionally also?
Absolutely. I wear dark colors like browns and blacks and greys when I am at work or meetings or some special ceremony. They tend to enhance gravity, and when I am home, I relax in casuals. Colors do trigger specific response. So wear one as is required. You seem to be a student, are you?
Yes, sir.
So if you want to be focused in your studies, try some yellows and olive colors in your study. They are known to increase concentration levels, and also take notice of formal and traditional occasions and dress up accordingly.
Chapter 7. Self-Image Building. Instead of his reported rift away from Congress and Gandhiji, Pandit Nehru continued with his humanistic approach and democratic principles. He formulated the country's foreign policy, stood for international peace. He worked to put an end to colonialism in Asia and Africa. 1937. First election under the Government of India Act is held. The Indian National Congress gets majority in 7 provinces. Nehru refuses to give Muhammad Ali Jinnah to give share in power and form Congress Muslim League government in some provinces. In 1942, Quit India movement is on full swing. Pandit Nehru is arrested and put behind the bars for 3 years. He spent the jail term much confidently for the country's glorious future. In spite of ideological differences between him and Gandhiji, he respected Gandhi with all his heart.
Feeling good about yourself is the most important key to be happy in life. A strong, positive approach towards life reaps success in life.
You are known as a real statesman, peace-loving person even in the face of so much criticism? How?
He is so called because of his behavior, leadership skills, and the way he reacts to different situations in life. He has immense control over his actions.
Build your self-esteem. It is very essential to take life forward. I went to jail, but I was never disheartened, as I always knew I have to work for the freedom of my country.
How does self-esteem help?
Value yourself. Do what makes you feel good about yourself. When we are happy and content, we tend to become more positive, which in turn makes our personality charming. People pay attention, and you are respected in your circle of friends for good behavior. All this happens when you project a good and understanding self-image.
But what if I don't feel happy in life and I'm facing failures one after the other? In that case, I am bound to feel low and dejected. How can I be positive? And in such situation, I lose respect for myself.
Count your blessings then. You have so many other things in life to cheer about and thank for. If not material success, you are physically fit and abler than many others who do not have limbs. You can read and write. There are many who remain uneducated all their lives. Then you have loving and caring parents who feed you. Many in this world are lonely without parents to guide them. When you face failure, commit yourself to personal growth and rise again. Don't keep blaming others. I faced criticism for being communal and not allying with Muslim League and Congress also at a later stage. Even I was shocked at such a reaction from others, and I felt defeated, but fought back. Looking at the growth of the nation, people too realized later that I was not wrong to do that. Also, recognize your accomplishments from time to time. It will boost your self-confidence.
So, along with personality, is outward beauty also important?
No, it might help attract attention, but goodness comes from within. No matter how adverse situation you are facing, be gentle in your behavior.
In spite of criticism of many of Nehru's decisions, Pandit Nehru kept his calm and maintained his stand.
Self-confidence and self-belief in one's own actions is necessary to improve social persona. Don't shy away in your dreams. Develop a realistic understanding of your strengths and weaknesses and work on them. I spent many years in jail, and instead of complaining, I used that time for introspection. I always had a fascination for Gandhi's teachings, and his mass appeal surprised me. I took the inward path and found the truth of his massive mass appeal. It was his fight for truth and generosity. So look into your inner self. Find out where you lack and work on it to improvise.
Weren't you frightened when everyone around you criticized your actions? Weren't you afraid to lose friends and well-wishers?
For one moment, I was taken aback, but I believed in my strengths and knew I have not committed any wrong. So why be afraid? Had I given way to Muslim League's wish, the entire nation would have been broken into pieces long ago. Identify your fears and throw them out of your system by exploring the root cause of that fear.
Driving away the guilt of wrongdoings will help, I guess.
Discover your true calling, your true self. Celebrate your strengths. I completed my law practice and joined politics to work for India's freedom from foreign rule. I found true satisfaction in serving my country. Everyone has been gifted with some talent. Identify it and change your attitude towards your surroundings to strengthen your self-belief and improve. People are remembered due to their friendly nature, good behavior, and personality. Cultivate a persona full of positive self-image and succeed in life.
Pandit Nehru played an important role in the formation of modern India and launched 3 successive 5-year plans. He formulated independent India's foreign policy, helped solve many of Asia's and Africa's problems. Chapter 8. General Etiquette and Manner. 1917. It's been few years for Nehru to have returned from England and participating actively in Indian freedom struggle. Gandhiji, impressed by Nehru's participation in freedom movements, wanted to meet him in private and thus calls him for a dinner at his ashram one day. Nehru asks for table cutlery and is supplied with what he needed in front of him. He draws napkins and prepares to have his dinner served. Deep travels in the time machine and watching both have dinner stops. He is amazed at the thought that even people in pre-independent era knew table manners and the use of cutlery. His curiosity grows and he appears in front of Nehru with Narad.
It's so surprising to know that you use table cutlery while eating.
What amazes you are general etiquette, or you may say table manners when you are dining with others.
Pandit Nehru has studied in England and has since learned manners to be followed when in public space.
Etiquettes are applied everywhere, in private, in public, when dining with many others, or in flight even. And following table manners when you are sitting with others for dining is considered to be polite and socially correct thing to do.
But I don't know how to eat with knife and fork.
That's all right. It's not a matter of shame. You can at least try and learn the ways. Even Gandhiji knows table rules, although he does not use them out of choice and to promote everything Swadeshi. If you are in an official lunch or dinner, you must follow table manners.
I know quite a few points my father taught us, like eating with closed mouth without making noise. Sit straight when eating, don't knock on utensils.
Also, always try to use please and thank you when asking to pass over something to someone, and excuse yourself when you leave in emergency. Please get some rice. There are certain set rules to be practiced whether you are in a flight, on a vacation in a hotel, a corporate meeting, or even while talking to your fellow workers.
The time machine takes Deep to the post-independence era. Pandit Nehru is on his first trip to America to build ties between the two nations. It is a long-hour flight. Nehru wants to relax on his seat. He peeps out and asks the person sitting behind him if it is okay with him if Nehru reclines his chair to rest. The person nods and Nehruji pushes his chair backwards.
Is it necessary to ask for someone else's permission to relax?
No, I was not seeking permission, but it is not good to encroach someone's leg space during a flight, and is always good to notify the person in advance so that you don't end up hitting him. Thus, traveling also calls for some good conduct.
All this sounds like modern day corporate meeting conducts.
Yes, meetings too follow certain rules. When I speak to an audience, I try to keep up the spirit of the environment and try to involve my audience.
Much like the meetings at business organizations, they also involve the staff to give their opinion on certain ideas, issues and projects. Recently, I served at Commonwealth Games that took place in our country as a volunteer. And we were trained by a supervisor that more than words, people read body language. So, we speak more through non-verbal techniques than to shout and scream.
I try to keep up the spirit of the environment and try to involve my audience. Yes, to show your interest in discussions and involve the audience, it is utmost important to encourage them with feedbacks and go with the flow of your audience. That is, when you see your audience getting bored of the speech, encourage them to participate and give their opinion. Respect not only your superiors, but also your fellow mates to earn back respect from them.
Follow your work ethics with dedication and standard parameters and earn love and respect from one and all.
Chapter 9. Anger and Technique to Control. Stress Management. Once, Swami Vivekananda was giving his regular lectures to his disciples. When one disciple asks a question in different ways several times, another disciple shouts at him, saying that why is he bothering the whole session and he could get his doubts cleared at some other time. Anger is a momentary madness, so refrain from it. It has many evil effects.
I apologize if I have disturbed the whole class with my attitude.
I am sorry to. Sir, please explain how does anger happen and how harmful could it be?
Anger is a very basic human emotion that often becomes a roadblock in attaining your personal goals. Anger is the hurt flowing outward. The expression of anger varies widely though. Anger acts as a signal that there is something wrong in your environment, like one of you just got irritated, unable to be patient and keep your cool.
But anger is good in a way that it gives a way out to the suppressed emotions.
Anger can never be justified and never happens to be good. When you are unhappy or situations are uncontrollable, you become angry. The mind reacts to unhappiness around, and it could be disturbing and a stressful condition for the mind.
So how do we react to unpleasant situations so as to save others of our anger fits?
I will narrate a story of the great philosopher Socrates and his wife to you. Socrates' wife is believed to be a bad-tempered woman. One day she abused Socrates amongst his students for not being able to earn enough to feed his 3 children, and she threw a jar full of water on him. Such was the extent of her anger. Even then he remained quiet, only taking the incidents in a philosophical way.
But everybody cannot be so philosophical.
True. All I am trying to say is not all situations would be so grave, and any person can acquire strength to control his reaction like Socrates. Emotional stress is not the only harm caused, but relationships are also damaged. Apart from mental stress, it injures the body also. Improper functioning of different organs, imbalance of blood sugar, etc.
So what do you suggest? How should we deal with anger?
Express it, but gently. Express your concerns. Do not shout, and be careful not to hurt others' feelings. Learn to accept others as they are.
But Swamiji, there are times when I cannot control my anger and feel agitated. The feeling is so strong that I cannot escape.
Why do you want to escape? There is no need to escape from your inner feelings. Just try and sideline them. Redirect your anger to do something constructive. Maybe get up and go for a walk, or just start writing on a piece of paper about your mental state at that moment.
Also expect less from others and set realistic goals for yourself.
I was devastated when my father died. Being the eldest son, I had to take the responsibility. I kept questioning to myself, why did God choose my father? Why will I have to bear the burden, etc. I used to be so angry that on visiting temple, I asked Ramakrishna Paramhams to make the offerings to God on my behalf. In later years, I found all my answers, and became what I am today. So to achieve greater goals, you have to put all your efforts. Chapter 10. Harmony at Workplace. Chicago, 1893. Swami Vivekananda goes to America to give speech on the Vedic religion that teaches the world both tolerance and universal truth. He says that the religion he follows gives him the freedom to accept all other religions as true. He went on to declare his pride of his nation that teaches to forgive the sinner and hate the sin. The American Parliament applauds at the end of his speech.
There is so much chaos everywhere. How do you say your religion is superior to other religions? I disagree.
No, I am not saying that mine is superior and others are inferior. All I am saying is Vedic Dharma is one of its kinds. It is a religion which values all other religions and cultures of the world with due respect, and it has the strength of forgiveness. Even people in India are suffering from agony and widespread war all over. How do you tackle with all that with your peace-loving religion? Conflicts, misunderstandings, and difference in opinion is omnipresent, and I believe they are necessary for growth and development. We solve these problems with love for the humankind, patience, forgiveness, and tolerance. Our faith in God gives us the strength. The religion we practice gives us strength to fight negative emotions and myth and find the path of truth.
Do you mean no other religion offers forgiveness?
Vedic Dharma gives us the freedom to follow our faith. Once the arguments end, Deep and Narad go to meet Swamiji.
But Swamiji, many conflicts translate into war between people. We are facing such war between Hindus and Muslims within our own nation who want different paths to rule over. How can you say it can be solved by religion?
Conflicts let us see different viewpoints of the same problem. All conflicts can be resolved. A midway solution can be found if desired. It is not necessary to decide between winners and losers.
Conflicts become difficult when parties involved refuse to resolve it through mutual consent.
We are a nation which believes in loving the sinner, but hating the sin at the same time. Where thousands of people are there, disagreement in opinion might happen, but could be solved through negotiations, compromise.
Thus, practicing a religion gives us the ability to know right and wrong.
Even workplace requires a stress-free environment. If all our leaders start fighting within themselves, what would their followers do? Who would they listen to?
Stress never helps one grow.
Harmony and a stress-free environment help in personal growth, brings out the best in you, new ideas and new ways to discover truth. Religion suits the body and mind alike. Dharma plays an important role in making our life peaceful.
But everywhere we are surrounded by clever people, mean-minded people who become the reason for stress. Religion or performing one's rites or dharma does not help there.
To save yourself from the politics going around, be sincere when you interact with others. Don't use sugar-coated language, but be kind and gentle in your speech and help others whenever required. Don't be disrespectful of others' views, and connect with different people to create a space of harmony and love among themselves to achieve personal and professional success. Chapter 11. Social Responsibilities. Deep sees many poor people thronging the streets outside a huge building. When he takes a nap during a break from personality grooming class on the second day, he asks Narad, where are we?
We are in the 19th century and outside the missionaries of charity.
What is that?
That is where Mother Teresa and other nuns live and work.
What kind of work?
Mother Teresa comes out in the premises for her regular rounds. There was a little girl lying on the floor in grief with her parents standing beside her with folded hands. Mother Teresa lifted the girl on her lap and caressed her hair and asked her doctors to take care of her. She went along listening to everyone's problems in the crowd.
This is what I do, Deep. I love people and care for those in need of my love. This is broadly called social work. I take responsibility of my surroundings and if need be, I make efforts to correct them.
But there are government authorities to take care of people's needs. Why do you have to take pain?
This is not pain. This is called social responsibility. and I feel satisfied when I give service to needy and poor people.
What is social responsibility?
Behaving responsibly towards your immediate society is called social responsibility. Immediate society could include your friends and family, the place where you live, your city or residential complex. Everything falls under social responsibility scanner.
And what all includes in social responsibilities?
Oh, everything! Right from taking care of diseased and elderly people to cleaning your community area and planting trees falls under social responsibility. Basically, to take part in the development process of the society is what social responsibility means.
Nowadays, even large business houses render their responsibility towards society and nature from where they draw their raw material as corporate social responsibility.
Yes, even industries should play a role in the society's overall development. It is their obligation to take care of the environment, food and water needs of the people of the area where they have set up factories, because they deplete the natural resources of the concerned area.
But there are hospitals to treat patients, schools to teach children, government-funded schemes to earn livelihood. Then why do you think it's your duty to see all?
There are poorest of poor people who need medical help, food and water, source of livelihood. Like you can see this crowd in the charity health care clinic. All of them cannot go to big hospitals as they do not have money. And more than care, they need love. Only love can heal pain.
You do it for satisfaction. Fine. But then why do you think industries would fulfill CSR?
Different people have different understanding. So some fulfill services for the society to earn goodwill and reputation for their business. Some businesses do it to abide by the government regulations. And still there are some genuine business owners who do it just for satisfaction.
There are laws to safeguard people's interest from hazards happening due to big industries as well. If some business fails to achieve its CSR, then he comes under the purview of law.
Chapter 12. Time Management. Deep is unable to keep a balance between his work and his studies. He is very stressed and he cannot concentrate on his personality grooming class due to heavy workload. He seeks help from Swami Vivekanand, goes to him, and a visibly upset Deep sits down at a rock nearby Swamiji's mutt. What happened, Deep? Why are you sitting here alone? You go to some classes around this time, no?
Yes, but I am very disturbed. I cannot concentrate on anything and I need your help on this. Please guide me through.
Sure, I'll be glad to do so. But first go, attend your class and then come back.
Please Swamiji, help me out. I won't go unless you give me some mantra so that I can make progress.
An upset and dejected Deep refuses at first, but having no choice left, goes back to attend his class. He comes back after his class. So how was your class, Deep? What did you learn today?
Something about how to manage time. This is what my problem is, and this is what I have been taught at class.
To be able to handle time available to you effectively, you should go one by one. Complete the work at hand first and then think of time ahead. That's why I sent you back to your class. I wanted you to understand how important it is to do a scheduled work on time. Swami Vivekananda preaches what he believes in to his disciples. He gets an invitation to speak on religion from the American Religious Society and many other countries and decides to take along his disciples so that they do not miss on any important subject he speaks on and to complete their training on time.
Why do you want to take around your disciples? You can teach them when you return.
Indeed I can, but I want to utilize my time and theirs too properly, and do not want to become an obstacle in completion of their set goals once they are through their training. If they come along with me, I will be teaching them in my free time and they can follow the discourses at other times. Time is precious factor. Even an hour of teachings would be great. Maybe during early mornings or during flights.
But how will you prepare for the guest lectures?
That's easy. The more I'm able to clear my students' doubts, the more confident I become to answer the assembly's questions. Time never stops for anyone, so we have to utilize it to the maximum. Even if I devote little time once a day or even once a week, it will take my disciples closer to their goal.
But how do I do it? I go to work, I study so that I can earn a good living in future, and on my return, I help in household work sometimes. And this way, neither I'm able to do my work properly nor studies. I don't get proper rest even.
Setting your priorities right, track your daily activities, and locating your time wastage areas will set you in the right direction. Make a list of things you want to do in a week. At the end of a day, find out how much of your listed things have you completed, and at the end of a week, evaluate yourself.
I don't even go to play like my other friends. Still nothing works out the way I want.
Don't skip out on sporting activities. Just allot it a proper time. Like 1 hour a day will be good enough. On an early morning, Swami Vivekananda is taking a walk in a garden in the company of one of his popular disciples. Sister Nivedita seeks true knowledge, and Swamiji is giving a discourse while walking.
I thought you preached during selective time.
No. I teach when the student is ready to accept the offerings and a time span cannot be ascertained for it. I would suggest you do what you want to do now and here. Don't wait for right time to come. There is nothing called right time. Whenever you do a certain work, it is the right time. You cannot rewind time. So plan your routine in advance. Be organized and allocate time as per the work. Who cooks food for you at home, Deep?
My mother.
We cannot do all that we wish to ourselves. So it is always good to delegate work that are lower in your priority list to people who can handle it. Plan your work at hand properly and act as per the plan, and everything will fall in place. Chapter 13. Interview Handling. After completing his law at University College London, a young Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi is looking for a job. He is going for a job interview in a law firm in London.
Gandhi ji is going for a job interview. It's going to be a learning experience for you.
Yes, I am looking forward to it.
A well-dressed Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi enters the room, in which an interviewer is sitting already. Narad and Deep are overhearing the conversation.
Good morning.
Please sit down.
Thank you.
Tell me something about yourself.
I have completed my law at University College London. I am looking to work for a company that provides me ample opportunity to learn and grow.
Deep, even though Gandhiji has given a brief description of himself, he could have handled the question in a better way.
But how?
One should make a brief but systematic statement which highlights your education, professional achievements, future goals, and also covers a description of your qualifications for the job and potential contributions you could make to the organization.
Okay.
What is your major weakness?
I often worry too much over my work. Sometimes I work late to make sure the job is done well.
Well said, Gandhiji. See, Deep, Gandhiji has tackled this question beautifully. He is positive and turned a weakness into strength.
What is your experience?
Sorry, I don't have any experience.
Oh, Gandhiji has not been able to handle this question appropriately.
Please explain.
If you don't have any experience, then tell the person why you feel the company should hire you. And also make sure you tell the interviewer how much you are willing to train for this job position. Whatever you do, do not say you have experience if you don't. If employers find out that you were lying, you could get fired and not be eligible for rehire.
That's a good point.
What is your salary expectation?
What are you going to offer the best candidate?
Bravo! Well said, Gandhiji.
He should have quoted a figure. He may get a less salary this way.
Before going for the interview, one should find out what the current salary range is for the profession. Talk to people in the profession and get an estimate. Negotiate for the best package. Try not to answer this one with a figure. You could ask the interviewer what he is planning to pay the best candidate. Let the employer make the first offer, and then, if it is not good enough, make a quote.
I got it.
We are going to offer a good salary package to the deserving candidate. Do you have any question?
No.
This is not an impressive answer.
Why?
Saying no says to the interviewer that you are not very interested in the company and not very smart. So be smart. When you research the company before the interview, come up with at least 3 questions to ask about the company itself during the interview. For example, ask what plans they have to expand in the next 10 years, or ask what new products and services they might be considering. This is not the time to ask about salary and benefits either.
That's interesting.
Gandhiji leaves after the interview. Deep and Narad move ahead with their sojourn. Chapter 14. How to be a loyal team player. One day, Swami Vivekananda was walking through a lane when he saw few children fighting for their chance when they were playing Gilli Danda. He stopped by to watch their game. One of them was stronger than the other kids, and he snatched away the danda, a kind of bat, and started striking. Other children were disappointed at this. Swami Vivekananda called all of them and started talking with them. What are you kids playing?
Gilli danda. It is played like this. Lift the danda and strike the small piece of wood. The farther it goes, the more point you gain. One who is able to throw it off to a greater distance becomes the winner.
I can count your 6 children here. So do you play in groups?
No, we play our turns each.
Wouldn't it be nice to play in teams? 3 players in each team. It will help you make bigger score than you make individually and will be satisfying at the end of your play as well.
That's okay, but this way I'll not get much time to play if we form teams.
Of course you will have. And you will have a strengthened team. If someone is good at striker's end, he can balance the one who is poor at striking, but is good at fielding. Deep is passing by on the time machine. He stops by seeing Swami Vivekananda with the kids.
What are you doing with these kids, Swamiji?
I am telling them about the importance of playing in a team. As a team, you have to be more cooperative to the other and remember that each member is important for the game and the team. So listen to everybody's point of view.
When I was volunteering for Commonwealth Games, I formed a team with Sangeeta, and through that association, I learned many things in English language. Likewise, working in team can help you in your individual growth as well.
So, what are the things we should keep in mind while forming a team?
A team is not like any group. In a team, one works to achieve a common goal. It is result-driven. Like when you children were playing, each of you wanted to win. But the fact is that only one among 6 of you can win. So winning becomes the result and your play becomes result-driven. And a team always works under the supervision of a leader, one who can take decisions good for the team.
Also, the members of the team must know that for winning, they have to work together. The more the number of players, more is the fun as the competition becomes challenging. Become a player whom your teammates or colleagues can rely on and trust on the field.
When you're a part of a team, exhibit flexibility. Conditions of the team may change on and off depending on the circumstances, and you must be ready to adapt to the ways the team adopts in consultation with its leader without making an issue.
So what are you waiting for, friends? Go and form teams to play. I wish I could join you had I not been bound by time.
Chapter 15. Motivational Techniques. Alexander is riding on his horse and commanding his army during the Battle of Cheronia. He guides his army to win the battle and takes over the city.
You have had so many challenges in front of you, as people were opposing your accession of Cheronia. Then how do you manage to keep such high spirits?
I keep my army motivated by inspiring faith in them that we will win the battle acting like brave soldiers.
Do you announce some kind of award as well for which they act so bravely?
No, they do it out of their will. But yes, I give them something as reward sometimes.
But how do you motivate them?
I always keep cheering them with positive thoughts. I keep a watch that they don't quarrel amongst themselves and bicker about each other. It is my duty as a leader of the group to encourage each of them and raise their mental spirit before going for any attack on the opponent or combat.
Do the soldiers always obey you?
Yes, they treat me as their master. You see, there are different kinds of human needs. Some soldiers are satisfied with only food and water. Some need security of life and some want to be respected. For different needs, there are different principles to inspire them and make them do as is required.
A leader is one who has strength of will. What are the other abilities a leader must have?
A leader mobilizes his team by devoting his time, experience, tolerance, personal sacrifice. He is the one whom his soldiers look up to for guidance. He trains his force to grow in both physical and mental strength.
Do you punish them if they fail to obey your orders?
Yes, punishment is a must if anyone fails to follow orders. This is to keep a check on the others who think of cheating on me, thinking that I might be unknown of their ill practices. Alexander is holding a session of his soldiers before marching for the battle. He asks his soldier to be confident that they will win the battle and come home with the enemy's head as a prize.
What is the secret behind this, Alexander?
Just before we march into enemy borders, my soldiers must be aware what to expect when we go there. I want them to know that even the enemy will be well prepared to battle us with huge soldier strength. Maybe more than us. But they should not be afraid. Be confident of winning the battle. Confidence is the key. Leading the team is a huge task, which takes loads of confidence. So I hit the nail to boost up my soldiers' morale. Are you ready, soldiers? Go! Stampede them!
Yes, our Lord. We will present you the enemy king's head tonight.
Be focused.
Yes, sir!
The bugle blows. Trumpets roll, making a roaring sound in the sky. And there goes Alexander's army to strike out at the enemy targets. Chapter 16. Mentor. Deep watches Swami Vivekananda talking to one of his most dedicated disciples, Margaret Noble, who is better known as Sister Nivedita. He is explaining the process of human growth, about his America visit, and acceptance of Vedic Dharma by the people of America. Sister Nivedita asks Swamiji to lead her to attain the supreme knowledge and know the truth. Swamiji encourages her to first devote herself at the service of the society. Sister Nivedita then decides to dedicate her life to educating girls in Kolkata. At this point, Deep appears in front of them, asks for pardon for appearing unwarranted, and greets both.
I know disciples follow their masters. But what is mentoring, Swamiji?
Could I answer your question, Deep? A mentor is like a guide, one who is there to answer all your queries and help you learn and discover yourself. He is a person who invests his time and energy to tell you the most suitable path for you.
Sister Nivedita is a brilliant person, has potential to attain supreme knowledge, but needs to do the groundwork first. A mentor's job is to identify his disciple's potential, ability, and guide her accordingly. It can be anyone who is visionary and capable of giving directions to youngsters. It could be someone at your workplace who helps you climb the ladder of success, someone at home, or an acquaintance who helps you in your social life, or someone who can lead to attain your inner quest. Have you heard about Sri Ramakrishna Paramahams?
Yes.
He was my master, my mentor. When I was going through the lows of life and was puzzled within, he inducted me on the spiritual journey, and because of him I have been able to attain my higher self.
Was he like a teacher who taught you about truth and myths of life?
Yes, he was my teacher. More like a friend, a guide who helped solve each of my queries with examples from practical life. A mentor does not hold your finger and make you walk, but helps you realize your true potential on your own. My awareness of God grew in my mentor's presence and through his able teachings of life.
Just like I am able to meet my inner calling and peace in the presence of Swamiji, my mentor. I came from my country in search of truth and a higher calling.
Swami Vivekananda smiles on this note.
Swamiji had many Indian disciples also, some of whom joined Ramakrishna Mutt and became sannyasins. He mentored them according to their abilities and desires to attain the supreme knowledge.
I will share with you an interesting incident that happened many years ago. Me and another disciple of Sri Ramakrishna, who happened to be my friend too, came out after a session. We were laughing on how our mentor calls everything to be God. He used to say everything in this universe is God himself. Everything is a form of God. I and my friend were laughing on this idea that how can God be in a leaf, in water, in you and me? The very moment a hand reached my shoulder and I turned back to find Guruji standing there. That moment led my path to realization. And here I am today, preaching to others due to that single event. My belief grew stronger due to my mentor.
So I can say that a mentor is a role model who can help you identify your strengths and weaknesses, and there is no financial motive behind it.
Yes, absolutely. He leads a mentee or protege on a right track to avoid aimless wandering. He is always available for his mentee and is authentic in what he practices and preaches.
So it is a mutual relationship. Unless a mentee surrenders and commits him, a mentor cannot help.
Yes, Deep, and a mentor-mentee relationship can be applied to professional organizations also to increase accountability and performance of its staff, apart from personal growth of employees.